Good evening, Reds. Welcome to the pre-match build-up. It's Manchester United versus Everton. It's our first game back from international duty. A couple of players missing, but will it affect our performance and will it affect the unbeaten streak, if you want to call it that? It's it's 5 games where we've been unbeaten. I don't know if you'd call it a streak, but we haven't lost in 5 games, so that's something. Just the first kind of thing that stood out to me straight away, Dan, and I'm sure you'll probably agree. Joshua ZIRKZEE starting up top. I don't know why Maguire's in the team. Maguire isn't starting. Why does that always happen to me? Just chat to me about ZIRKZEE. That's the big standout headline. Are you looking forward to watching him and what you're expecting from him today?
Yeah, I'm not that much concerned with ZIRKZEE in the team because, on contrary, I would love to see more of him into this kind of a setup because I think in one of the games when we were dominating the game and I think it was Mason Mount or Cunha, someone was injured early in the game and he was taken out and then ZIRKZEE came in. So that position was really, he is well capable of doing the things that what is expected from that position. So I think the setup of playing 2 10s is kind of a more favorable to ZIRKZEE. I'm not sure whether how he'll be playing today, whether as a lone striker or kind of maybe rotating his position with the 10s. So I think it shouldn't be very hard for him to kind of cope up with this setup. But yeah, I think I'm not that much concerned about this because I somehow I feel like he's well able to make himself play better in this setup rather than playing in a kind of a more with a wide wingers kind of a setup, but more like bringing in players close to him. So I think in that kind of a gameplay he's more comfortable playing with.
In your mind, why do you think Amorim has been so hesitant to start him? Because there has been opportunities to bring him on, maybe for a longer period, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, to see what he's really about. But the max we've seen really is about 5-10 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a bit of a talking point because anyhow the capabilities are there, but still he was not getting that much amount of game time. Maybe because we already have so many options on the bench to give him chance, and he's kind of maybe lower in the pecking orders. So with Sesko also trying to make himself more comfortable with this lineup and also making himself available on day-to-day basis. But at this point, we can see that we have so many 10s in the team, and ZIRKZEE might be at the last in the list. So that's where he is not getting that much time in the play. You can see that even Mason Mount, who has played really well, he's also on the bench at times when we think like he could have started the game and could have got more minutes. So at this point, it's like a whole bunch of players we have is of that number 10 roles. So I think it's a bad luck for ZIRKZEE that to be in this environment where there are so many good players who can play in his position. So that's where I think he's not getting that much game time. But I think but yeah, personally, I felt like he should be getting more times, at least to showcase for the January window for the other teams to come in and see to kind of increase that cash amount flowing into the club.
I think it's interesting that Maguire hasn't started as well. Again, I don't know if he's injured or not, but I presumed because it's Everton and you think crosses and set pieces and they've got a lot of physical players, I'd expect someone like Harry Maguire to start. But it's gone with De Ligt, Yoro and Shaw as the back three. Is that with in mind maybe those 1v1 battles, do you think, with Ndiaye and Grealish? And just chat to me a bit about them just whilst I sort this out 2 seconds.
Yeah, sure. With Grealish, I think the only thing is we should be very careful with not making any mistakes at the back because you know that, and we have been recently very vulnerable at the back during the second half because you know that the most of the goals we have considered has come in the second half. So it's like first half we play a totally different game and the second half we play a totally different game, and that's where we become a little bit weaker in the second half, and that's where I can see that we should be very careful at the back that we don't make any mistakes because you know that a kind of player what Grealish is, he's very well enough and capable of taking advantages of all those kind of little bit mistakes that any opponent can do, and he can capitalize on that. And the skills is always there in him, and I think that in that place we need to be careful. He's not that much pacey, but we should be careful that we should not be making any mistakes at the back, so that we give him a chance to. Because I think from Everton perspective, the all focus will be on Grealish to do something and the attack wise, and but that's where we need to be very careful at and solid at the defense.
I think the same thing with the wing backs as well, right? There was kind of a conversation as to is he going to, we know Cunha was potentially going to be out. Mount hasn't really been starting games, so it was a case of, is he going to push Ahmad up on that right-hand side where Mbumo plays, drag Mbumo central, maybe put Mount on the left? But he's gone with Mazraoui there, who I don't know off the top of my head how many minutes he's played this season, but it doesn't feel like it's been a lot. It feels like he's been relatively injured a bit. How do you feel about Mazraoui at wing back? What's your thoughts on him? Because it's never really a solid fit with him in any position, is it really?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, even I'm not that much comfortable playing him in that position. Rather than I'm more comfortable playing him on that kind of, with Euro's position. I think he's been playing more on the kind of a right center back. So that's the place I feel Mazraoui can be more useful, because I think he lacked that pace to play as a wing back, right wing back. And you know that with, I mean, at this point you are just comparing. I mean, when you have seen what Ahmad is doing in that position, and then suddenly you bring a player, and suddenly that mind goes towards that comparison between Ahmad and Mazraoui. So definitely you will be going towards Ahmad, choosing Ahmad. But yeah, defense-wise, I think, I mean, they both are. I mean, Ahmad has not done anything wrong in playing in that position. That's what is making me feel like, I mean, I always want Ahmad to play on that position. So that's why it's not making me feel comfortable when I see anyone else playing on that position. But to be honest, on coming back to Mazraoui, I think, I mean, Ahmad can offer more compared to Mazraoui when it comes to attacking wise, and defense wise. I think they both are equal, because you know that Ahmad is also contributing while defending, and he is, I mean, tracking back in every moves he is tracking back. So I don't see a much difference between the defense wise. So that's where I'm more lean towards Ahmad, seeing Ahmad on that position with Mazraoui. And considering the stamina, and also you can see that Mazraoui has come back from the injury, and he's trying to make himself fit to play, I mean, more minutes. So you cannot just straightforward put in a position where you need that player to kind of, go high and come back deep down. So that's where you can see that the stamina or the energy is dripping down. And I mean, to be honest, I feel that Mazraoui is not at the same level as what we have seen in him in the last couple of years. I mean, the last year. So yeah.
As I said, you think, in my opinion, under Ten Hag in the back four at right back, he seemed better.
Yeah.
He was playing better.
Yeah.
I still think he gives us kind of 7 out of 10s every game, but I also don't think these little injuries are helping, because he's not really getting any kind of consistency. And the fact that his position as well isn't, like with Mbumo, he's playing on that right-sided 10 every single game. He knows where he's playing. He knows his roles. With Mazraoui, it's like, oh, can you do a job for us at right centre-back? Oh, can you do a job for us at wing-back? Can you play left wing-back today? Because we've got no play. Like, it feels very patchy with him, doesn't it?
I mean, so sometimes I feel like his abilities have been kind of becoming a disadvantage for him, because that he can play in all the positions, and now the managers is playing his. I think even once he played at the number 10 role also. So I think, that kind of differentiation is in his positions is not making us comfortable seeing him play at a particular position, or making him a comfortable player for a particular position. So that's where I think they are using him as a kind of rotational person for the rotational position. So, but personally, I can see that, I mean, for the defense role, he would be perfect, because his pace and his energy can be more utilized there, because you know that the demands with the right wing back is more, I mean, the energy wise, the stamina wise. So I think with Mazraoui, with the recent form, with the recent injury, I think he is now, I mean, when you see him playing now, you can see that there is a sense of thought in him that feels like, I mean, he might be thinking like, oh, if I overstretch, it might I might get injured again. So Yeah, so that's where I can see that he's not putting up his 100% there. So then when you know that the player he's not putting 100% and kind of I mean feeling not that much comfortable, then we need to be careful while playing him, and maybe rather you can give him a chance at the back. I mean the center back
Yeah.
role. So that's how we are managed Luke Shaw. So I don't see Luke Shaw now playing as a wing back, because you know that I mean that injury thing will always be there, and that same thing is coming back into Mazraoui thing. So then we have to manage his play time while playing him as a center back. But now you know that but again you see that if you are choosing between Dallo and Mazraoui, I'll again go with Dallo. I
Yeah.
mean again always go with
Whoa.
Mazraoui. So I I think the
Yeah.
Dallo in me came out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean to compensate somewhere, I think we are taking Mazraoui there, but trying today, it will not hurt us more, because with Everton, I think we will be keeping more of the ball. So
Hmm.
I think it's not going to hit us. But maybe against a stronger team, we might have to think again.
Yeah. Let's see what everyone else is saying. Welcome everyone in the chat. Please do smash a like on the video for us and subscribe to the channel. Random guy going early saying, I think I'm in love with the lineup. If you can expand on that, that'd be great. Andy Williams saying, hey guys, must win. Need to cut these draws out. Rainator saying, genuinely in love with this lineup. Very adaptable, as well as Mount can come on if needs be. So surprising how much has changed under a year in Amorim. So up for this. Quite a bit of positivity in the chat. It's nice to see. The dream is to be 3-0 up and give Lacey 20-25 minutes. I'll get into the subs bench in a minute, because I think there's a couple of interesting names on there for sure. Mazraoui in the wing back is meh, but we have enough attacking options on the field to trust him 60 minutes, and I'm sure Mount will be introduced, dropping Ahmad in Maz's role anyway. Yeah, I think I agree with that. You can't put Ahmad against Jack, no chance. Yeah, I think that's a good point, to be fair. I don't mind Ahmad. I don't think he's terrible defensively, but you do make a good point. In those pockets against Njai and Grealish, that's their biggest threat. So you do need people who are conscious defensively. So I think that is a decent point. And obviously Mazraoui is one of them kind of players. I just hope we double up on Grealish, Andy says as well. Yeah, I get it. Listen, midfield's going to be interesting as well today. Obviously Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes seems like the go-to partnership for Ruben Amorim, and you absolutely understand it. You see Casemiro's form at the minute, even for Brazil during the international break, he was really, really good. Bruno Fernandes scored a hat-trick with Portugal. Again, it was against like Armenia or something, I can't remember who it was. Yeah. But you've still got to do what you've got to do. My feeling today is Bruno's going to do something. I think he's going to get a goal or assist. But was we expecting any changes at all down in the midfield? And what have you made of that partnership now?
No, I mean maybe for the first priority, I think these both players have kind of cemented their place, because in the initial of the starting of the season, even many fans were having different opinions. Including me myself, I was not so much in favor of this setup, because I know that I personally felt like Bruno is kind of a player who needs to play in the number 10 role. But now I can see that what manager wants from Bruno, I think Bruno is doing that, and it took some time to kind of stabilize that midfield with these two players. But now I think it is coming out well. We are getting more controlled midfield, and also whenever we get the ball, you can see that the stats wise we have been we have improved in kind of recovering the ball. And now when we get the ball, and you know that the players like Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, who are very good in playing the key passes. So with Casemiro with the one time passing, and with Bruno Fernandes who can wait and look out for players who are making the runs. So I think that kind of good technicality in the midfield that has given us, and that in itself you can see that with the XGs on like how much we have improved in that stats, and we are creating so many chances because our midfield are capable enough of making the passes, key passes. So I think these two players have solidified their positions, and but the only thing is like there is no like to like replacement on the bench. So that's the one concern thing that I can see with Ugarte not able to come to that level of what these both guys are doing. And also we don't have a replacement for Bruno Fernandes, though Mason Mount can do papers he can do, but when we have seen that he's not able to do what Bruno Fernandes is doing. So I think with maybe not for this season, maybe for the coming season we might have to look elsewhere and see a good replacement, kind of a like to like, because you know that Amorim took I think it took so many months for us to get this midfield lined up in and get that chemistry in the midfield. And now you need to get a player who might be more younger than these players who are already there and kind of well capable and with high potential to secure the future for these rules. So yeah, that's where I think for this season we are good, but I mean again another aspect is like if you see that uh, any of these players get injured, then I mean that midfield is totally collapsed, and you don't have the like to like changes. So I mean I don't see anyone coming from the bench and stabilizing that midfield, and you can see that in the previous games. Like any time, I mean every time whenever we have made substitutions and we have already gone towards conceding goals, and that has been total become a total collapse. So I mean I don't see an option at this point from the bench who can come on and stabilize that midfield. So that's where my concern lies.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating to see who they're going to go for, Dan, in the summer, whether it's Elliot Anderson. I think Carlos Belieber had another stinker again for Brighton. So if they stick with him, are they still going to pay as much? And what's the price going to be? And what's that difference? I think if you was to put Elliot Anderson alongside Bruno Fernandes or something, I think that'd be a really interesting kind of midfield going forward. I think Bruno will still be at the club. I'm not entirely sure about Casemiro. We're hearing numbers of different stories back and forth. He's going to stay, he's going to go. Like, you don't really know. I don't mind if he stays on a lower wage in like an experience capacity where he
And
can
a
come
bench
in.
role, yeah.
Yeah, especially if we get European football again, then it's like, it's not the worst thing in the world having a 5-time Champions League winner on the bench.
Yeah.
So I'd be all right with that. But yeah, he seems to have found that balance. I agree with you. I think both Casemiro and Bruno, they are the ones who have the long passes in the locker. So if we need to switch play, if we need to play a ball in behind, if we need to drill it into ZIRKZEE, for example, who's going to be dropping a little bit, they're capable of doing that. Like with Ugarte, you bring him on, he might have more legs than Bruno and Casemiro in terms of the ability to get about the pitch and put fires out. Which is like a high volume, but when he's on the ball, it's not even close. Like genuinely, it's night and day between them both. But then you have Kobbie Mainoo, where it's like he's decent on the ball, not long range passing, likes keeping it short. He's quite good carrying it, quite strong with his body, moving it about, but he can't get up and down the pitch. He just can't do it. So I think that's why we're not seeing him. We'll talk about the bench in a minute because there's a couple of interesting names on there. But then we get into the dynamic of the attack. These boys haven't played together as a three before, I don't think, this season. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the chat, but I don't feel like they have. I mean, I don't think ZIRKZEE started a game this season, unless it was one of the earlier ones. But we've got Brian Mbeumo, Joshua ZIRKZEE, and Amad Diallo. Amad on the left-hand side, which I don't like. I think it was you saying, I'm with you on that. But Mbeumo starting again, we know what to expect from him. ZIRKZEE in the middle. How do you think that's going to play out? Are you excited to see this different dynamic, or?
Not really excited because I know that I mean whenever we have played Ahmad on the left hand side, we have not created that much chances what we get from playing Ahmad on the right wing back role, and with Mboma and Ahmad's connection on the right hand side. So now I think today it's kind of we might be seeing more of a rotational kind of a thing, like all the three players rotating their positions, and more often I can see that we might be playing as a kind of a, rather than two tens and one striker, we could see 1 10 and two kind of a wide wingers with Ahmad and Mbomo playing on the wider wings, and with ZIRKZEE coming back to receive the ball and spray the passes to Ahmad and Mbomo. But yeah, I mean, on the ball, all the three players are good. I mean, we might see something different thing that we are not even aware of with ZIRKZEE in the team. But yeah, I mean, I mean, to be playing against Everton, I think that's a safer thing to say. But I mean, I won't mind. I mean, I'm okay to see like what these three can do on the pitch together. I'm not that concerned because we are not playing against a very big team or a very toughest team and with a very toughest defenders. So I think today we can be more, I mean, okay with what we are going to get with that. I mean, but I personally feel that it's going to be more of ZIRKZEE coming back, and I mean with Ahmad and Mbomo changing their positions and even playing more wider as compared to what the lineup says.
I think it's interesting because I was just having a look at the stats this season. So ZIRKZEE's only made 4 appearances in the Premier League, and he's played a total of 82 minutes. So he's not even played the equivalent of a full game yet. Obviously, he's been training during that time. I don't know if he's been away with Netherlands or not. There's a World Cup year coming up. There's talks about him going out on loan in January. When you consider all those factors, this is a massive, massive game for him, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I think that can add to an advantage for us as a team on the whole, because you know that ZIRKZEE is craving for getting chance, and now this is a chance for him to showcase like what he can do. I know that before we had so many options, and because of that he was not getting the chances. But now once he get the chance, then definitely he has to take it and kind of prove himself, and maybe God knows, like he might be getting more chances based upon these performances, because I think Sesko, he might be out for 2 to 3 weeks, and if ZIRKZEE plays well, then why not playing him play on regular basis on
Well,
the
he's the
couple of
only out and
next.
out nine, isn't he? Really?
Yeah,
He's not even classed as a nine, but as bought in as a striker, he's the only guy, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, he's the only player left at this point to, to fill in that role. So I think that's a big chance for him also to prove himself, and also, kind of showcase for himself to get a good transfer for the January, so that he can, show his talent to in with the upcoming World Cup there. So, but yeah, again, a concerning point for us, because you know that almost ZIRKZEE is going to go out on loan, and then if ZIRKZEE is gone, and if we face similar kind of a situation again in the second half of the season, then we don't have much players and much options to play for in the upfront. So I think it's a point of concern. But at this point, ZIRKZEE getting a chance to prove himself can work well for us, because here is a player who has the opportunity to prove himself. So I think ZIRKZEE will be full on focused on proving his chances. I think I might see. I won't be surprised to see like ZIRKZEE scoring goals.
Interesting, yeah, because that's been one of the criticisms of him, isn't it? That the fact that
Yeah,
he's not as selfish as number nines are. He's
yeah,
more of a kind of a facilitator. But when you speak to a lot of the United fans, and Chivy's been a big advocate of this himself, he feels like he's exactly what we need as a nine, to be that kind of nucleus in the middle, to feed Ahmad and Bumo in behind, and that could work really, really well. But the one question I'd have against that is, surely Amrin would have seen this or tried it in training, and maybe that's why he doesn't see it clicking as much, or maybe it might be different in the game. I don't know. It's a huge question mark anyway before we kind of kick off. On the subs bench, I'm not usually fascinated with substitutes, but I'm going to read out the bench for you, Dan, and then by the time I finish, you tell me the names that stand out to you on that bench, okay? So, Altai Bayindir, Aiden Heaven, Diogo Dalot, Tyrell Malacio, Lissandro Martinez, Kobe Mainu, Ugarte, Mason Mount, and Shea Lacey. Interesting, right?
yeah. You have so many options. Young talents coming in with Shea Lacey. It's a huge thing to see him on the bench, at least to give him the experience of how it looks like, because he definitely seems to be a kind of a, player for the near future. So why not give him a chance and a taste of how it feels about the environment? And also, with Lisandro Martinez coming back, it's a huge boost for us, and that's the position I was seeing, like with Shaw. Though Shaw has been performing well, but again, when it comes to a fit Shaw and fit Lisandro Martinez, I would definitely go with Martinez. So, and that's the position for him to take. And with Martinez on that position also will give us more solidity on the defense, and also the passing ranges and that physicality. So I think today we'll be seeing Martinez. I hope that we see Martinez, but with the only thing concerns me, like we don't have much attacking options in the bench with only Mason Mount, who is capable of attacking. Come on as a sub for the attacking prospect. But I hope because of this, I think we should be more focused on finishing the game as early as possible and score more of goals, because we don't have enough attacking options on the bench to bring on and make a difference. So I think we should be concentrated on killing this game early on, maybe in the first half itself, score 2 to 3 goals, and just make and gives chances to like Kobe Maino and Lisandro Martinez, and maybe Lacey also, to kind of 10-15 minutes to see, because the whole United fan base is awaiting for him to see him on the pitch. So I think we should be finishing this game early on and don't give a chance for, for that moment where we need goals in the second half. So because we don't have options on the bench,
Yeah.
and with only Mason Mount in that list, and also if we are bringing on Mason Mount, and I think definitely it will be for ZIRKZEE, because you are not taking out Ahmad or Mbomo, because you know that they are well capable and they can turn the game any moment. So you won't take chance bringing them out. So even if you bring Mason Mount in the team, so again we are with the attacker, with the striker mindset, player less. So I think we should be focused on killing this game early on.
Yeah. Let's go back to the chat and then we'll talk about the game in itself and tactically see how we kind of see it playing out. Tim99 said, I think ZIRKZEE deserves a chance today. Andy's saying, I'd be shocked if ZIRKZEE's sharp. He hasn't played. I don't like making predictions before a game in regards to these kind of things. I don't see this working at all. I'm absolutely wrong. I hope he comes in and flourishes and just looks elite, and I'll be the first person after the game to come in and say, fuck me, I got that wrong. I agree. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but it's just he hasn't played any minutes at all. He's not even played a full game. So maybe 50, 60 minutes, see how it goes, and then I think he'll end up switching it up and bringing, and I think that might end up being the difference, bringing the subs on off the bench. I think the game might be a bit tight, and then we'll see kind of what happens. Rainator is saying Leacher, Mount, Lacey are the standouts on that bench for all completely different reasons. I agree. Alex in the chat, who did the Everton preview with me, is an Everton fan, saying, is Maguire injured? Seems like a mad choice to not start him. Never mind, not even have him in the squad. Tarky and Big Mick Kegger, Jesus Christ, are going to have a field day on those set pieces. Yeah, I mentioned Maguire at the start of it. I'm guessing he is injured, because if he's not in the squad at all, that to me would suggest that he's maybe picked up a small injury or whatever. I'm not entirely sure. But De Ligt's still good defensively in the air. I think Yoro's decent. So I think we're probably... You got Casemiro as well.
Yeah, I think we are good with the defense side, because you know that we have so many options on the bench, and we generally don't feel missing any players, to be honest, when a couple of defenders are out, because we have the like changes, and with Lisandro Martinez also coming in, so I think it's in itself is a boost. So I think with Euro we felt like, I used to feel like Euro is kind of a first teamer, but lately we are not seeing him starting the games on regular basis. But maybe for the near future or future, we would like to see him as a kind of a first teamer. So at this point, I don't mind, because all these players have the enough experience to start to be a kind of a starter for these kind of games. And with Shaw also proving himself right, with the chances he has got, and he has kind of a solidified his position, to be honest. But now with the Martinez coming in, I think it might be a good competition there. But De Ligt, he has been kind of a man of the match players for last few some games. So I think we are good and we are solid at the back.
Yeah, I think as a whole, how we're going to play is fascinating, because we typically do better when the opposition have more possession, and that's just factual. When we have under 50% possession, we win more games. When we have over 50% possession, we lose more games. Everton are quite a stubborn team. They can be compact. You know exactly what you're going to get from David Moyes. I was speaking to Alex when we did the preview, and he was talking about his wing backs are quite weak. He didn't expect Seamus Coleman to start, but he was talking about like Jake O'Brien, for example, and Mikolenko defensively. They've not been amazing, and they're not great at getting forward. So they're the kind of areas I would look to target. Do you think this is where it's going to be won and lost, Dan, with their attackers in Njai and Grealish, and us with Mbumo and Ahmad?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough competition between their defense, because we know that in this game they will be kind of sitting deep, and which will make our attackers difficult to break their defense. At the same time, we might become vulnerable at the back, and any mistakes we do, we know that Grealish will be on top of that, and bringing other Everton players into the game. So that both sides, that competition is there, with United players, attackers trying to break that defense, and with our defenders, they are solid, but they are also prone of making kind of silly mistakes, and sometimes many times we can see that they are nobody's covering the back post. So those kind of little bit mistakes we are well, we are well, in a place to do that. Those kind of mistakes where the other players can capitalize on that. So I think this game will be decided on mistakes, to be
Hmm.
honest. At least while conceding goals, I think it's going to be through mistakes. I
Yeah.
can see.
Yeah, you're probably right. For anyone asking, Everton's team, they've got Jordan Pickford in net, Coleman, Tarkowski, Keane, and Mikolenko at the back. They've got Garnagay, Garner, and Dewsbury Hall kind of in the middle. And then Njai, Grealish, and the inform Barre, who scored 1 goal in 12 games and missed a bunch of sitters. So that, yeah, if he was asking who was starting up top for them, that's who's starting. For us, Dan, the next kind of 5 games, we've got Everton, we've got Crystal Palace, we've got Wolves, West Ham, and Bournemouth. Do you think if we get, say, 11 points from those games, do you think we can start talking about Champions League, or is it way too early?
I think we can start talking about Champions League tonight itself if we win the game. We
Oh,
are
really?
number 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We
Okay.
we have to be lucky. We are not lucky. We have dealt really well with the kind of a hard games in the past. So that phase we have really performed well and got, I think, somewhere around that same 11 points. To be honest, with that, last run of 5 games that were even
Mm-hmm.
tougher than the 5 games which are coming. So I personally, my demand would be to get more than 11 points, because those teams we are well, as a United fan, also with that form we are in, we should be well in a position to beat each and every one of them, or maybe one a couple of maybe a draw and a loss can maybe bring us somewhere around like 11, 12. So if we get those points, I think definitely that will bring that consistency of getting, climbing up the ladder in the table. So, and even it's top 4 is for everyone. I think it seems like top 4 is for everyone. For the top 10 teams, anybody can come inside that bracket of top 4.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important for us to be consistent and get points against those teams who are those games which are winnable, easily winnable. That will decide our top 4. And maybe you can afford to drop points against the tougher teams, but the consistency will matter against the smaller teams. So that's where we have been really poor to grab chances and the opportunities which is wide open, and that's where even I'm concerned about today's game. So like
Mm.
whenever we have the chance of getting, climb like take a bigger leap, and we just bottle it out. And that's where I'm just feeling like a little tense or a little nervous to go into this game. But if we win and if we can get, as you said, like 11 points, I think we should be in a very good position to challenge for the top 4.
Yeah, you feel like you can never truly trust this team, can you? You can never be like fully commit. We're gonna do it. Like this is it. It's so fickle. Football's fickle in general. The Premier League table. If we lose
Yeah,
this game, Everton go level on points with us, who are 13th currently at the minute, right?
yeah,
If we win this game, like you said, we go level on Aston Villa, who are in the top 4. And then you talk
yeah,
about, Aston Villa 3 weeks ago, everyone had written them off already. They had
yeah.
one of the worst starts ever. And now in the past 5 games, I think they've won every single one of them. So it's just like, I suppose it's what makes it probably the best league in the world, that especially this season, it's so unpredictable. You really, really don't know how it's going to pan out. For us, we have got a favourable run. We've kind of glossed over the games that we've got already. During the December period, you've got to get through that. You can't, if you lose tonight, but then can beat Wolves, but then lose to Palace, and you're kind of chopping and changing, you're never going to get European football with that. And I'm also concerned slightly about potentially an injury. I touch wood when I say this, but
Yeah,
an injury to a player. You know, if Casemiro picked like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, sometimes he picks that up like, in quite a lot of the seasons. Or someone like De Ligt goes out, or Le Mans gets injured, and you've got to go back to Bayern Day. I think that's going to be a big thing as well, isn't it?
yeah. You have seen that United have. There's never been a part of luck that is on our side, and
Yeah.
whenever we tend to do good, something wrong happens with these kind of, external things happens, like key players getting injured. So, I think with this team, I think we have the coverage for the defense, and we have coverage for the attacks, but with the midfield and the goalkeeper thing is really concerning. And with the
Mm.
midfield, I know that the options are there, but the equivalent options are not there because
Yeah.
what Bruno and Casemiro are doing on the pitch, nobody else can do that same thing. Even though you have players like Maino and Ugarte who can be good in other aspects, but the thing what Bruno and Casemiro are doing, they are not capable of doing that. So that's where I'm concerned with midfielder and the
Mm.
goalkeeper. If anything wrong happens there, so I think we can stop thinking about top four and rather than playing. For saving the season. So it's like one game can put you at top four and one game can put you at the 12th position. So
Mm.
that's where the Premier. Even I was telling to my wife like this is how Premier League works out, and this is why Premier League is the best league in the world.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I think there are three players who, if I found out they got an injury, say after the game, I'd think, well, it'd be tough. I think if Mbumo was out, that'd be for me like, I'm not sure because he's the one who's supplying the goals at the minute. I think if either Bruno or Cass was out, either one of them, you're pretty much like we're fucked. And then Lamont in net. If we can keep those three fit and consistent, you can kind of chop and change around them. But if any of those go out, or if multiple players go out, I think it's going to be a struggle. As for Everton, if we're speaking about kind of key players, Njai, in my opinion, is their dangerous player, most dangerous player. I think he's the top goal scorer, 4 goals for them. Huge threat, 1v1. Reminds me a little bit of Eden Hazard, the way he picks up the ball and kind of beats players and stuff. Grealish, likewise, on the opposite side as well. We know he's going to be a pain in the arse. He's going to be winning fouls for set pieces. Very important for the defenders not to be too aggressive with these players. And you can see they can draw players in and beat a man. If we lock them down today, do you think it's simple as that to get a win?
Yeah, I think their more threat comes from the wing sides because you know that from the central position it's not that much strong for them, but only thing is from the wing side, and I think probably that's where even Mazraoui has been chosen to play for that position just to kind of nullify Grealish. So I'm starting now to think like okay, that could be a better option for us to kind of a safer option to just put Grealish off, and I think if we can keep Grealish as well as all their both the sides of their wings. If we can contain them, I think then the game should be in our hands. But again, we should be very careful with not making any mistakes because you know that if we do any mistake, and which our players are well capable of doing that mistake. So I think that on the left hand side, I'm more confident because with Dorgu, you can see that he can block that player. So with Shaw also kind of picking up in his games, and he has shown the character, and so I think it should not be a bigger deal to kind of nullify their attack from the wings, but yeah, we should be careful about not making any mistakes from the back.
Yeah. 5 games, 1-2, drew 1, lost 2, and that's Everton's record. They beat Fulham and Crystal Palace, but lost to Tottenham and Manchester City, which is kind of understandable given their position, I guess. Really don't know what to expect from this game. Genuinely, I think it's a bit mad with everything involved. The fact that it's a Monday night, it's Everton, it's fucking, off the international break. We've got different players in the team. So yeah, let's see what the manager thinks. He says about ZIRKZEE on starting him. He says, I just want to see Josh playing well with the quality he has. We have a problem with Benjamin Šeško and we have a problem with Cunha who's working in that position. If you look at our team, I think Josh has more or less the same characteristics as Cunha in that position. We want to maintain what we work with during the week and he is ready. On Matheus Cunha...
Does that make ZIRKZEE to play on as a number 10 role? Rather than being a striker when he's going to start comparing with Cunha.
I get that, but he also said Benjamin Šeško as well is going to replace Šeško, where Šeško plays as a striker. So I think it'll be fluid anyway, Dan, to be honest. I think all of them will kind of be interchanging, right? On Matheus Cunha's absence from today's squad, he says it was a knock in training. I don't know how long he's going to stay out. I think it's nothing serious, but we can't risk players. We have to show everybody when you're not 100%, we have a different player to cope with the demands of the game. on the long, on us playing more long and direct, he says we was having difficulties, with possession. We're confident playing like that against Liverpool. Last year, our biggest problem was often losing the ball in our own half. We were the worst team in that area. We're trying to improve every detail of our game. And do you know what sticks out to me as soon as I read that quote? Do you remember the West Ham game? Was it West Ham? Actually, no, that was under Ten Hag, wasn't it? Was it under Ten Hag? When Ugarte got pushed over under West Ham. Do you remember?
I mean, they were crying for a foul and...
Yeah, and West Ham went and scored.
The play stopped and... Yeah.
I don't know if that was under... But we've seen that quite a lot, and we're trying to build up from the back. It's just not worked at all. So he's shown that he's been adaptable and he's changed things, and it's worked so far. That's why I'm fascinated to see. I don't think that game's going to work against Everton today. I think you're going to need your technical players like Bruno and ZIRKZEE and Ahmad and Majraoui and these guys to find those little pockets, because if you're going long against fucking Tarkowski and Michael Keane, that's their bread and butter, innit? They're going to be expecting that. So do you think we'll be more kind of the way we played against Brighton today? Do you remember that? That was a bit more possession based, right?
Yeah, I think it will be key for us to kind of bring their defenders out or kind of stretch their defense lines, so just so as to create a chance or create a space to put a ball in. So that would be a key for us. Maybe Mbomo and Ahmad kind of stretching the wings and taking their defense a little bit. I mean, stretching the defense would be the key. If you won't stretch the defense, I think that it's going to be very hard for us to break their defense with the tall players. Also on the offense side, if we concede any foul and if we see these players coming in our box and to take the headers, we should be very careful, because now even Maguire is also not there, and with players, with the lack of dealing the ball in the air is less as compared to what we get with players like even Sesko used to help out in the defense whenever we are conceding the free kick. So I think today it's going to be key to deal with. It's going to be interesting to see like how we deal with the corners and the free kicks. So Tarkowski, whenever I see him, I feel like he's going to score a header. So that's kind of the threat he causes. But yeah, I think it will be key for us to kind of stretch their defense to break the lines.
Yeah. Sounds like Zirk maybe a 10 then, and Mbomo striker could be fine. We saw it at the end stages against Brighton. He scored a worlder. And he's saying he needs to keep Mbomo on the right side. 10, best finisher crosser. Seems crazy moving your best player. I think I'd agree with that. Interested to see the inevitable tweaks that have been made in the game plan tonight. No Šeško should rationally mean no long ball. Yeah, well, we've got to that important moment of the day where we do our kind of bet slips, predictions, whatever you want to call it. 4 things that we see happening in this game. And, if people want to take this as advice, you do whatever you want. Over the weekend, I think I've won 6 bets on Premier League football, which is like an all-time fucking high. I don't know how, I can't explain it, but I have. So I'm feeling lucky. What are you going with, Dan?
I can sense us conceding a goal with a header. Probably the defender scoring a header.
So a set piece, you think? Something like that.
Kind of that. From corner maybe probably. And also, ZIRKZEE contributing, maybe assist or a goal. And we can see, Shea Lacey on the pitch in the second half during the end. And yeah, I think we are winning this game with more than 2 goals.
Okay. More than 2.
It's needed actually. If we score more than 3, if we win this game with a 3-goal difference, then I think we are in the 4th position. Otherwise, we are in 5th.
Yeah. I think both Njai and Bruno get a goal or assist either way. I think one of them to at least, the bare minimum. I'm thinking about the battles there's going to be. I think maybe Shaw.
One question. From where did you learn that player pronunciation? Njai. I was just searching like who is this player?
I think it was from actually Alex. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but obviously he watches Everton week in week out, and I'm sure he calls him Njai. What do you call him?
I've never tried actually. To be honest.
And you know who I'm on about though, don't you?
Yeah. No.
No, for Everton.
No.
Ndai.
No.
What?
I've hardly heard.
Really?
To be honest, I've hardly seen the games. I've just only...
Mate, he's been lighting up the Premier League. He's a top player. Yeah, he's been really, really good. Well, anyway, listen, forget about the pronunciations and stuff. Bet slip. So, Njai or Bruno Fernandes are going to get a goal or assist, right? Yellow card, I'd probably go Seamus Coleman or Dorgu. Someone on the left-hand side. I'm mad against Coleman. Dorgu against Njai, or whatever you want to call him. And then I'll probably go... I think both teams to score, United to win. I think it'll be 2-1 United. I could definitely see Everton scoring off something, like a square across the box. If Barry scores today, I'm going to give up football in general. That Barry up top for them is horrendous, and I won't have Alex tell me any different. He's shit. And if he scores today, I'm going to lose my rag. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But anyway, we'll be live straight after the game.
Highly likely to happen because any team, any player struggling, they just come into United and they just pick their form.
Yeah, I agree. People have worldies against us all the time, especially at Old Trafford. So we'll be live after the game, me and Sam, with a post-match review. So please do come and join us and get all your comments in and your thoughts and analysis on the game. And then me and Alex are going to do a breakdown. I'm going to have a breakdown if we lose, but me and Alex are going to do a breakdown interview, not an interview, a breakdown of the game. Fuck me, Nick. Get it right. Breakdown of the game, both sides of it. I think that's going to be kind of an interesting conversation. And then Sam has done an interview today with Ian Irving of Talk of the Devils, which will be out tomorrow as well. So content coming out of your ears, basically. Hope you all enjoy the game. Up the Reds, and me and Dan will chat to you in the next one, guys. See you in a bit.